There are 4 major regions in Rainbow Six Siege: Brazil, NA, EU, and Asia Pacific. Now, for the entire lifespan of the esport, Asia has been consistently the worst region deemed by everyone. They're always the first to get out of tournaments. In any pick'ems thing, you put Asia in for all the first eliminated teams, the last place teams, and you'll basically win like 90% of the time. On the other side of that spectrum, Brazil, for the majority of the game's lifespan, has been the dominant region. I'm pretty sure they have the most tournament wins right now. And so, because Siege does not have a limit, or right now in Pro League does not have a limit on the amount of foreign imports you can put on your team, if you're an organization owner in Asia and you're like, how do I get free spots at, every international event? Well, you could just import a full Brazilian team. Take a bunch of players from the best region in Siege and just drop them in the worst region, and that should be just easy pick'ems, I guess, right? And so that's exactly what Elevate did in the Asia region. This team got all Brazilian players to play in Asia, and they went undefeated in the group stage of the Asia Pacific League 2025 stage 2. They didn't lose a single game. They even ended up slamming, straight up walking through Waybo Gaming, which is the favorites of Asia. They're literally the Asian champions. They were formerly known as Bleed Gaming, if you recognize any of the players, Turnsta and all of them. They got decimated by Elevate, and they were making the region look like a cakewalk. Going undefeated in groups actually really means nothing. It only really means anything for seeding, because how you actually make the major is through playoffs, right? Groups doesn't actually matter in terms of attending the international event. You actually have to win in playoffs to make the event. But now everyone thought, because they walked through everyone in groups and went undefeated, that they would just have a breeze in playoffs and just, another Brazilian team makes it to the Munich major. And for the game to make the major, the playoff series that determines who goes to Munich and who doesn't, they were faced up once again against the hometown heroes, Waybo Gaming. Waybo weren't just gonna let a bunch of Brazilians run over their region. The map they're playing is Border, and Border is a very, very aggressive map because of how small it is. So therefore, there's a lot of gunfights that take place all over the map. And as defenders, because it's so small, you don't want to give the attackers any space. So you typically spread across the entire map and try to hold everything all at once on every single site. And that's why, even though the site is actually in Bathroom Tellers on the first floor, that they have defenders all spread across the map in CC and top east as well, an armory that you'll see, and then also an office. 4 defenders top floor holding and aggressing all the contention points, not even letting them open the barricades to get into the map, because it's just the nature of Border. And Waybo Gaming make the mistake of trying to contest them on this angle, when Elevate being, Brazilians, and Brazilians being known for being an aggressive gunfight region and just better at shooting than everyone else and taking gunfights overall, they are slamming Waybo, sorry, oh my god, having a stroke, on all these gunfights. And so despite Waybo making their best attempt to try to get into the map, they just get stuffed. Like all their entries get stuffed all across the board, and they get slammed. And they not only get slammed in a decisive round, they get flawless. First round, they get flawless. And it's pretty much going how everyone expected. Everyone's like clutching their heads right now watching this. If you're supporting APAC, you're like, wow, these Brazilians are just about to demolish my favorite team, and it's over. But here's the thing about Waybo Gaming that I want you guys to remember for the rest of the video. Waybo Gaming are very good at exuding the concept of, I understand it now. And so the second round, Elevate go to Armory, go to Armory Archives, and they play kind of the same positions. They play really up in your face by having the smoke on the bottom east stairs, the player inside of break right next to the break door, the player inside of CC. They're contesting the full map again. Everyone is super spread.
Who's messaging me on Steam?
And they're ready to contest basically all these entries again. But here's the thing with Waybo Gaming. Last round, they got completely slammed by those gunfights, right? The gunfights, bing, bang, boom, not working out. So this round, they say, hey, Speakeasy, you go onto the roof. Now, what can you do from the Border roof? If anyone has played Border in their lives, there's not much you can see up here from the Border roof, unless you rappel down and just die, right? But like this roof is not really good for directed killing. Why is this guy on this roof? Is he getting info? Maybe. Waybo know Elevate want to take gunfights. Waybo understand it now. They want to peek me and kill me. I, Waybo Gaming, do not want to try to go on a gunfight contest with the best gunfight region in the world. I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna get away from that. I'm gonna make pressure to make it seem like I'm about to do it, but I'm not gonna do it. what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to outstrat you guys. And so going into their East clear, what happens to the power player playing inside break? He gets blown up. What happens to the top East stairs player eyeing on the reinforced wall? Wait. He also gets blown up while an ace charge is going off on his wall. The player they had up here on the roof was for nading them out so that they could avoid the gunfights necessary and kill these guys without even needing to chow them, without giving them the dominion, just by using geometry. Arctangent cosine, Kobe Bryant, bing bang boom. They have gotten a 5v3 and top East control effortlessly by just nading them out of the position. And it's a beautifully done clear, by the way. Like, you force this guy into this position by having pressure on break door, and therefore the nade lands perfectly through the doorway, getting this guy. And then because you have a player taking bottom East, the smoke that was previously playing on the East stairs is no longer able to play here. He's actually forced back onto that reinforcement wall in the hallway. And how do you clear him out? Well, you ace his wall at the same time that he's getting naded. So even if someone was able to shoot his ace charge off, he's dead. He's dead no matter what. The guy comes up East at the same time. He's dead to the guns no matter what. Look how many firing angles that he's dying to currently. There's one gun line over here. There's a player shooting down from East over here. There's a player shooting him 1, 2, 3. That is why the Siege is so beautiful, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a full Ego Chow game. That is why so much of the time I tell you guys gun skill at this level doesn't really matter, because you can outposition, outstrat, and out-suffocate, and blow out of proportion your opponent's the map. And now in the 4v2, now what are Elevate going for again? Elevate are getting really aggressive because they need to get picks back somehow, right? But Waybo, you could just drone, you could take the gunfights, you could deathball, go for the refrag on these guys, but Waybo are actually not going to do that. They want to keep the same energy. I don't want to give you picks, I don't want to give you gunfights, I don't want to give you challenges. All what rank players do, they're actually going to go for a plant play. They double swing, because think about it this way, no matter how good mechanically you are against a perfect double swing, even if you're Shaiko or Spoil, you're never winning against a perfect double swing unless you isolate the ones. But this is a perfect double swing. They're perfectly stacked on each other. They perfectly trade it, and they plant the bomb, and they manage to close the round out, avoiding all the 50-50 ones that they were giving to Elevate, that Elevate was beating them on. And that is why Rainbow Six Siege is one of the best games in the world, because if you know your strats enough, you can play proper enough, you don't need to be mechanically better in a one-on-one 50-50 gunfight than your opponent. You can simply suffocate them out of their position and outplay them in the way that I just shown. And a lot of you ranked players need to understand that better. But this next round, I really believe this round 3 right here, 1-1, is the best example of the pure difference in that gunfighting skill I was just talking to you about. So Elevate on Vents are once again holding kind of like a similar position. They have the smoke bottom East stairs. He's able to go up the staircase, throw his smokes outside. He has another player backing him up to contest East, and he can also fall back onto this reinforcement to throw smokes. He can play many angles, make vert on there, everything possible in order to let them hold this East stairs down again. Waybo Gaming want to clear it out. One player already gets aggressed on from the catwalk position, and they have a player down here through with the passport hole. When you make this hole, it holds the walk down onto East, right? So Waybo really want this control. So much so that they rotate multiple players underneath to try to walk up East against this guy once again. But this time, they don't actually properly force him into the position. They lost the gunfight against the cat player, and now Raps wins the gunfight against passport player. This is like a 3v1, by the way. They have 3 people running at this guy separately, and Raps just ducks, dodges, right here. In this situation too, his passport wall isn't reinforced. In NA, typically you reinforce, not passport wall, your luggage wall isn't reinforced. You typically reinforce this luggage wall and barricade off these windows in NA, because the guy coming in tailor can just wallbang you down if you're in the luggage hall right now. This guy, at this point, he should be dead. Okay, you gotta kill on passport, you gotta kill on our catwalk player, whatever, you should be dead. No, that is not the case, because Raps is just, okay, Ape just fucking whiffs, and then somehow, some way, he's able to get away with it. Raps just kills everyone here, and their push gets completely torn apart. And it's like one player just able to completely decimate all of Waybo Gaming's push, which I really think just speaks to, I think, the difference, at least what they peek into what all the Asian teams were experiencing and witnessing during that regular stage that Elevate went undefeated. But regardless, again, they're like, okay, we can't win in the gunfights right now. We can't clear it with it. We just try to 4v1 this guy, 3v1 this guy in luggage. It's not working. It's not working. I understand it now. And so fast forward around to Armory again. They bring out operators that would again help them avoid gunfights. Blitz, shield operator. Ying, disruption operator. Sense, blocks off line of sights. And what push are they going for exactly, do you ask? Fett? Well, they're going for a CC clear onto the player in CC. Now, CC, I don't need to explain it, but I will explain it since this is a Fett education video, is one of the most important positions in the entire map. Because if the two sites are going to be Archives and Armory, well then CC is the one position that can deny easy access to Armory and also contest East side, which denies the easy access to Archive side, right? So CC is one of the most important positions, and it's for holding CC. The reason holding CC, you typically see so many defenders make holes in these walls, because if you're in ranked and you see this for the first one, you're like, what the hell, teammate? Why are you making holes that can look into sight? Well, that's because if you want to hold CC down, if you reinforce this wall off, well, then the enemy can just walk at your guy in CC scot-free and get a free kill on him. What this does is it actually protects the walk onto CC. It lets them, so it makes it risky for them to walk onto bookstore against your CC player, and it also gives a pixel angle onto anyone trying to get up to CC window and peek your boy. It makes it really hard for them to contest any of these angles. And so against this setup, and even this, Rooney putting a barbed wire on side, how are Waybo going to clear out Elevate? Well, that's where the brilliance of siege strategies comes into play. As Elevate set up for the push, you see everyone around their default spots. You see the guy outside break room. You see the Ash repelling into the top, Armory balcony, ready to walk. You see the bees coming out, but you don't see the Ying with Elevate. Now, where is this Ying? Because Ying is holding out her Candelas, right? Zip right on that upper. Ying is ready to push it, but you don't see the Ying with the push, blinding the guy in CC. Well, Ying is exit vehicle customs. Where is that? Let's do a little tour of the map, shall we? Right here, it turns into exit vehicle customs. Right when I get around to the bus, where am I in relation to the site? I can see into sandwich window. Now that I can see into sandwich window, I can throw util into sandwich window. When I throw util into sandwich window, who do I blind? Who do I blind, chat? I blind the guy that is holding the Armory holes, holding down the walk down Armory Hall, and that allows my Blitz and my Ash off of those Ying Candelas to walk down Armory Hall, even against a Mira. That guy just looked at a mirror, but no one was holding it because he was fully blind. He was fully blinded by the Ying. Straight into the player into CC, gets an easy kill with the CC. Now, Elevate, being the gunfighters they are, they actually end up winning the gunfight. CC side, they kill Ape outside. They C4 reaps on the Ying way far away because this is a common strat. This is not an unknown strat. This is not a new thing. This is a common thing. Guys, think about how crazy this strat is, that they're blinding a guy on the angle, isolating the other guy, and the enemy knows it because it's so default. That's the level of siege we're talking about right here, bro. But once again, Elevate are not idiots. They understand it now. They don't want to take these gunfights. They don't want to contest any longer. They want to play the numbers game. They realize that, oh, they killed everyone on CC side. How many players are over here? Oh, 1, 2. How many players are on site? Less players are on site because there has to be one player on one site and one player on the other side. Oh, it's a 3v1 onto a player on Armory site. So instead of going for CC, we're actually going to smoke off the angles behind us and momentum directly in his sight. Now, they managed to fuck up a bit, but this gap pays off because Tursta, number 1 ranked player multiple times, grinding rank, boom, bang, gets 2 coming into sight, and now the control is in Waybo Gaming's hands. They retake the diffuser, Hoven's holding his cross, lets us come through, he gets 1 on the 1v2, but Turtstuff's ready to clap back immediately. Waybo Gaming, avoid all the obstacles, disrupt the map, make it their own game, walk down that Armory Hall, and even after losing those initial picks, they didn't panic, they didn't keep getting desperate, they said, you know what, fuck you and where you're contesting, we're gonna just go hit site instead. So Waybo actually managed to secure a successful attacking half against Elevate off the backs of their outstriding outmaneuvering, but going into the defensive half, despite the fact that Waybo banned 2 cheese operating in glass, well, Elevate just immediately go for a plant off the first round and just get it down for free, and there's nothing to stop it, the chunk is not even there, bing bang boom. You guys have played against this rank. Basically, it's an impossible retake. Yeah, some gunfights happen. They try to stake the bomb a couple times, but it's just wraps. I mean, Elevate get a really easy round, but Waybo, they're realizing, okay, you know what? We can't just let these guys run over. We gotta take the fight to them. So this next round, that's exactly what we're gonna see. We're defending bathroom tellers, and it's a similar kind of thing where you want to extend across the entire top of the map because guess what? When you have the top of the map, you have this control top east over here that stops them from getting into tellers and doing anything from there. And then from the hatch, you can see the window hopping into site to stop the plum, and also all of the back bathroom vert just around this area and archives as well. So, you know, holding vert pretty important. Now there is an issue with this heavy top hold, is that despite the fact that you have a guy bottom east and a guy in sight, the custom side of the map is mostly free, and that's exactly the kind of take that Elevate are going to go for. Elevate are going to go for something called a horizontal minimal east take. It's a very popular take taken by OXG back in the day to basically get the bomb down in a really efficient way, only taking minimal map control down on border. The take essentially consists of fighting the guy on east stairs, killing him, coming down here, and then you saw the ace opening up this passport control. That guy outside, just previously shown, will hold this runaway. They'll manage to kill this guy. They'll get into bottom east, and especially if there's a rotate made for you already. If not, it's fine. Use the ace charge, make a rotate here, and you essentially could just get in scot-free and go for a plant right on this corner. You can go for a plant and sandwich. There's usually a bomb chassis you can plant behind, and there's many ways you can plant the bomb. And so that sounds great and all, Fett, but I'm seeing Elevate right now. They're in customs control, actually, and they're also taking into vents. Why do I need horizontal control if I'm going for a east based execute? Well, if you're planting in one of these corners inside, there's two places you can get your plant stopped from, and that's gonna be the holes from custom, actually, which typically have a defender here holding a long range angle down onto the plant spot, as well as, and also the other angle straight up onto this rotate to get the plant is into workshop side. Now the bomb side's wrong. Ignore the bomb side. I can't choose it in the solo game of myself, right? But if there's a guy in workshop, they can stop that plant from over there. And therefore, Elevate are presenting a two-pronged take. They have two guys taking customs and vents in order to deny these plant denial angles that Waybo were able to play, and the other people trying to take the top east side of the map, as I showed earlier, in order to get this control and walk down the staircase to enable that plant from happening. And I want you guys to notice right here, it flipped to Bravo walking up these east stairs, getting ready to go for this guy on east, and it flips back to this buck. We're taking customs. Elevate are getting perfectly set up to go for the execute that they exactly want. But Waybo Gaming, they understand it now. They learned from last round. They can't just let these guys take control and just sit by and let them get fast in the map and take all the gunfights they want. They have to move first. And so Waybo Gaming, they're like, you know what? We're sick of playing like pussies. Let's take the fights at them. Hoven takes his out soul scanner. He's close on the archives door. He hops out archives. You can't see it because my stupid fucking face cam is blocking him. Hold on. Give it a second. Look at this guy. He's up here. He hops out archives, jumps over on the staircase to kill the guy outside on the staircase. At the same side, Ape, he's on east stairs. He's near that area, waiting room, wherever the hell that is. He's top east. He kills the player outside top east. They get wickedly aggressive outside top east. So despite the fact that Elevate managed to get that horizontal control and kill into sight, they're at a disadvantage because, well, they lost vertical control. They lost a guy with the case that was gonna plant the bomb, that was gonna come down east and do all of that. They lost that east pressure that would have helped them advance towards an execute. And on top of all that, well, Solus is still up, and Solus has vertical control and can look at the plant anywhere it's going down. Now they only have first floor control, and they get a guy outside, they rotate him out, he comes back, he gets the case, and he's able to run back into sight. And they were going to play this game of just gambling and sticking out the plant and seeing if they can get away with just getting the plant without taking top floor control, despite the fact that there are holes in this. Waybo Gaming notably mess up this round, like a little bit at this point in the round. They fuck up, they peek the guy in customs, he's holding the cross back in his sight just like earlier, and the Solus manages to let the plant go down despite having angles to stop the plant. I know Reese was holding it, but he lets it go down under his nose, and on this gunfight, he's not doing too well for himself either. He whiffs a mag, not able to kill him, and Hoven just ends up losing. But good thing for them, Ape from 3. Bang! C4's the player coming in with it. Bang! Quad kill. Ape manages to save the round, and he's shooting bodies. He's sick and tired of these guys, man. But this marks a notable change within the pace of the series. Is now Waybo Gaming, despite now the earlier time they were using the strats, they were avoiding the gunfights, they were using shields, using nades, kind of slanting away from that. Now they are taking the gunfights to Elevate's face. Waybo ended up losing a round after that, but this round they are on to the vent site and they're doing a heavy top floor site hold again. And Elevate are going for a really fast crunch rush directly onto the fountain side of the top floor. Now, this is really worrying for Waybo Gaming because on the round prior to this that we just skipped, the round that we skipped, we kind of looked over, Elevate went for a similar push onto CC for armoring. Look at this double shield on this player. Look at this. What do you do against this? Huh? You sit there and you fucking die is what you do against this. And they take a really effective control and just they slam the living shit out of Waybo and get a really convincing victory in this round. So going into this round, Elevate are going to do that same kind of thing again, and you expect it to work, and it really looks like it does, because if you look at what is going on this round, I mean, these players, where are they even looking? They're looking at each other. Yo, what's up, man? We're getting fucked. Triple reinforced wall. You have nowhere left to run. I mean, one guy's gonna drop the hatch, but this guy's de facto dead. The Ash is already in top east. This is just a GG's round. Remember what I said about Waybo starting to bring the gunfights back to Elevate's faces? Well, there's one player Elevate failed to account for. Let me introduce you a player called Reaps96 on Waybo Gaming. He is, I think, de facto the best Chinese player in the game, and his sense, he also has the highest sensitivity in the game. So much so that he plays with like a corner of his mouse pad on the fucking desk. I made a video on him before, and like if you look at him, his mouse like barely moves as he's flicking around the map because of how fast his sense is. I mean, this guy plays on the equivalent of 53 on 1600 DPI. If you're on 400 DPI on default multiplier, you're on like a 200 sense. It's a default multiplier. It's not Kickstart multiplier, so it's not like stretched out multiplier where the senses are slower. Yeah, I mean, gets one, gets two, comes back, gets three, really fast whipping around. You went for a rush on their players, but you forgot they had a Reaps. Trades out to a 2v2. Reaps drops down the hatch, bathroom side. You see that right here. If you follow my mouse, he goes around. His player inside armory decides to fall back a little bit on this side of the map. Want to hold Vert just for a little bit longer in case they want to go for side. We want to hold Vert on them. Reaps comes to support metal side, but it's okay because Speakeasy, the veteran APAC GOAT, has something to say about this, and he's not losing those gunfights. Match point for Waybo Gaming. They have adapted and understood everything that Elevate has thrown at them so far, and not only that, now they are absolutely firing back on all cylinders. And this last round is like, it's like Maharaga hitting the wheel spin on them. They know everything Elevate has to offer. They have a pulse near sight, ready to throw a C4. Bang! That guy just deleted off the map. I mean, we didn't even get a spectate as that. We got sent straight to the next player. They're going for a clear on the East players. They look, Elevate just look completely lost. They look completely different from how comfortable they looked in that first map. Waybo have complete top 4 control. They have a pulse inside. They have everything necessary. Elevate take East control, but guess what? Waybo don't want to give it up because right now they're not scared anymore. They send a player to retake East. He's playing aggressive. He walks up close with the shotgun, turns behind him. He's playing with the shotgun. Doesn't matter because no matter what, Turd still would have been able to get that refrag right behind him. It's a 4v2. It's a 4v1. And Raps hops in. Nothing they can do. Waybo Gaming take map 1 against Elevate. But remember, this is a best of 3. This is a whole series you have to win if you want to go to the $750,000 Munich Major, and you have to win 2 maps out of the best of 3 in order to make it. And unfortunately for Waybo Gaming, they get slammed on the next map, which evens it out to 1-1 score. Next map makes the major or bust. Yeah, again, like the caster said it best, either the Asian hometown heroes, the kings of Asia, versus the Brazilian invaders. Who will win and reclaim the throne of the region? We will find out on Chalet. Now, the first 2 rounds go absolutely devastating for Waybo. For a solar entry already goes down in the very first pick of the game off a run out. Elevate have the pure momentum off that last map. They are just slamming Waybo and genuinely like walking at them. Like, I don't even know what that was. I don't even know why he's sprinting at them right there. But yeah, they literally cannot get anything going. Elevate are just taking whatever gunfight they want against these guys. It just feels like they're getting stuffed on every single entry across the map. The same thing happens in round 2 as well. They're holding master sight, Elevate are, but despite this, they have a player underneath, because typically you can have a C4 underneath master to stop all the plants because it's all soft floors on the site. Now, Waybo Gaming know this, so they want to come hunt this guy. They get a Deimos underneath, they get a track on this guy, and you see multiple people coming around to try to hunt this guy underneath. But Elevate countered this by sending multiple defenders underneath. against the Demos, and you kind of see Waybo running into their deaths right here because they just have no idea that there's so many players downstairs to support this roam right here. Now I want you guys to remember this setup later on because it'll become very, very useful and pertinent. But regardless, we keep going into this round. Waybo keep trying to clear into this setup. They managed to get one, but the trades are happening all over the board. They're getting slammed on every single gunfight everywhere. They keep desperately trying to throw their faces and heads against that entry, but it's just not working. Raps has gotten a triple kill. He's having the time of his life down there. And it gets so bad to the point where Reaps has to call what I like to call a pseudo timeout, right? You have 1 minute left in the round. You're not really going to win it, so you're going to go onto the roof to talk with your team with that 50 seconds left to be able to reset. It's terrible right now. What do we do to change this? Majors on the line. How do we fix this problem? The coach can't talk, unfortunately, during one of these, but it's a good time to mentally reset with your teammates. Now, during this timeout, some shit talk happened from Elevate. Resets says Zaga, which I don't know what it exactly translates to, but I was told it implies, or in popular gaming culture, it means a baiter. If you don't know what baiter means, it means you're last alive, you let your team die, what the fuck are you doing? You're just farming stats and you're being impactless in the game. He called them Zaga, you're a baiter. He's saying some wicked shit. He said Boha Zaga, which I think is like fucking baiter. And then he says ZZZZ, like he's falling asleep. You're putting me to sleep right now. Elevate having the time of their life. They just won 2 easy rounds off these gunfights. I mean, it should be easy right now, right? There's shit talking. They're easy. It's time to go to the major. We got a little bit of a rough start in the first map, but it's okay. Second map, momentum's in our favor. We got everything going for us. We're slamming them on the gunfights. Easy walk to Munich. Brazilians versus Asians. Brazilians should win every single time. But what they don't know right now is Reaps. Reaps is singing an ancient Chinese hymn to his team right now. He's not even on the screen. He's oh. 早上好，中国，今天晚上吃冰淇淋。He's saying， 朋友一生一起走，一些日子不再有，一句话，一辈子。He's singing the fucking Chinese hymns to his boys right now. He said, listen, we're gonna fucking hunt these guys. We're gonna hunt them together, right? Kitchen site. You're extending top floor kitchen site because you have vert over all of top floor kitchen site. That means you also want to extend library side if you want to be really aggressive and hold the entire map kitchen side. And because you're holding library side, well, why not get a guy underneath inside of bar to hold up through the hatch to hold the stock or the window hop it to make it harder to entry on our library guy? Well, typically this is where you want to hunt. So Elevator going, you know what, let's hunt this guy together. And Reaps is like, you know what, I'm sick and tired of us losing out on these hunts. Let's fucking get in and get aggressive together. You know, I understand it now. I understand it now. 我懂了。我现在懂了。好，我们进来 mud room 吧， mud room 吧。Reaps hops in with the team， 我们进 mud room 吧，进来 double swing， 2个人一起走，boom boom bing bang boom， gets one, another one, Reaps bang bing bang boom, highest sense 200,000 fucking sensitivity, just slams 2 people 5v3, walks up the staircase after this. Instantly overheats. He's off the fucking Mao Tai. He's off too many shots of the Chinese fucking liquor, bro. That guy's lost his fucking rocker, bro. But the Chinese hymn, it fucking works. They get a 4v3. They get library control off of that. You see them moving up. Now the player is still on top, Mez. Yeah, but it doesn't take long before they could just easily clear this player out with the Blackbeard. The player coming up fire stairs. They got all this control, and now it's a 4v1, and they end up just wiping Elevate this round. Right. If you don't know, that's exactly what the technique I use to get my team to win at Manchester, the ancient Chinese hymns. But regardless, this next round, I really wish I could tell you what was happening. Elevate run like a library bunker, like upside for non-extension for bar, and then I guess Waybo just hit everything at once, and we see none of the kills, but it's all good. You know, it's a chaotic game. Now next side we go to basement on Chalet. Now basement has 2 sides you can do your main take on. You can go the front, or like most sides in Siege, you can go from the front take, or you can go from the back take, which you more so see in rank. I mean, actually you see both in rank. From the back take by opening up these walls and calling a day. Typically speaking, this back take is actually so powerful that typically teams make a rotate and boiler in order to catch this wine cellar door. But remember this, because Elevate actually don't go for that setup. They go for more of like a non-standard setup where they double reinforce all the walls. They use a 2-per-all bandit to get the walls closed, and for that reason, actually, despite the fact that This lineup from Waybo Gaming is absolutely a front take lineup. They have a thermite, they have a smoke. Have you ever seen more of a front take lineup in your entire life? This is a definition of that. Like I'm sure you like any sort of rank tells you. You open up this front wall, you throw down smokes, you have a glass holding behind you, maybe an Osa, Capital, and you just go in here and you plant the bomb in the smokes, right? You have this little tuck corner over here, you can plant the bomb in as well. Just very typical front take. But despite the fact that it's a very typical front take and you have the thermite over here, you have everyone ready to get the wall, there's one player of Waybo that's just in trench door. And he's here on the wine wall. He's just chilling. In fact, he's chilling for so long. I honestly, I would have expected someone to hit a gap by now or to go off something. Your typical rank star runs at the map and just goes, right? He's chilling for so long on this wall. It's actually genuinely insane. Like, the entire round happens, okay? So they go for the wall, like this whole time. The whole time he's here, they go for the wall. There's EMPs going on the wall. The thermite goes off. It gets the wall open. It gets frozen a couple times. He's not taking a gap for a very specific reason. He's waiting for a response because basically they knows that because the walls are because there's no boiler rotate backside, it means there has to be presence, which he's seeing on a drone right now, backside that they're holding above the hatch. Because why else would you have this rotate, right? You have the hatch control, and that's the reason why. And so Waybo Gaming are trying to draw out a response to, hey, they're trying to make it look like they're going to hit the site so that they can fall, so that these enemies can fall back into Hoven's loving arms. So at 1 minute 50 seconds, they dump their first set of smokes. They make it really seem like they're going for this execute. Elevator not fooled. They're still chilling above this backside control. They're not coming back to site yet. Bing, bang, boom. Nothing's happening. They have a guy front door. They have a guy, like still up and dining. It's whatever. And this guy West Main Stairs is still a little bit suspicious of the backside hit. So he's not taking the bait at all. So Waybo Gaming said, I bet we can hit a dough call, hit another smoke, tap the plant again. This guy's drawn out a little bit, but again, Elevate are just not taking the bait again. But you know, Waybo, they're big brain. They're more patient. We're more patient than you guys. So again, they're gonna bring out the util. They're gonna bring out the smokes. They're gonna hit another Dokkaebi call. Speakeasy's gonna go in again for another plant, and then Elevate are gonna throw the C4, and they're gonna miss again because Waybo play out another plant. And at this point, Elevate are like, okay, we don't have a C4 anymore. We just lost a player. Like, we need to start getting bodies back into the side because the next time they go for this execute, we will lose. And finally, after 3 faked attempts of a site hit, this player, West Main, exactly walks into Hoven's loving arms. Hoven hilariously whiffs a mag on him. The plant's going down in the top right, but Hoven's done his job because typically speaking, everyone on the map should have been able to just focus on fighting this front side plant if you're on Elevate, except now you have to worry about your backstab the entire time. And therefore, the plant is able to go down. It's a 4v2 on the bodies. Really good run out and retake attempt actually by Elevate right here. This was, I think, the complete correct play. But once again, it's because of that backside control that makes it so 8 of a 2v2. If both of them were front garage right now, this would be very simple. One player hops out, the other swings the breach, and you pretty got it works. But because Hoven has that backside angle, he's able to just constantly threat the bomb through a long angle through backside and just make it work. He goes down, but at that point he's already wasted enough time. Hoven of a brilliant backstab play on this round manages to secure a really easy plan, and while Speakeasy just fully fakes him out with the sprint, bing bang boom, and they're typing back now. That's 3 rounds in a row. 3 rounds in a row since Elevate called Waybo baiters for taking the faked pseudo tack timeout to talk to their teammates, and now they're taking a real tack timeout because they are feeling their major chance of slipping away. Oh, does karma bite you like a motherfucker? By the way, I haven't taken the time to actually appreciate the amount of talent on Elevate, by the way. This isn't just some like bumfuck Brazilian team. This is Resets, who used to be on Team Liquid, who was one of their top performers in the fragging department. Psycho, who was a literal former world champion with Ninjas in Pajamas. Ion, I believe, used to be on FaZe Clan. Raps used to be on MIBR. They used to be on huge Brazilian teams. Step, I believe, is the only one I'm not too familiar with, but these are huge Brazilian names, especially their coach as well, Hugsword, who used to be the Team Liquid's coach. Like this is a very established and experienced Brazilian roster, and right now they are being crumpled by the best of Asia, which people used to think was the worst region, and people still think, people like validly so, the worst region in the world. Back to master site. Elevate once again go for this super duper aggressive extension top floor like I showed in that first round, and they once again have this roamer solo underneath the master site, and they're, you know, so, and Waybo once again, they want to go for the hunt on this guy, right? Or at least they want to show that they want to go on the hunt for this guy, because remember what I said last time about, remember Elevate's response to what happened when they were getting hunted underneath. They sent a fuck ton of bodies to fight against that hunt underneath, right? So Denari gets targeted by Deimos. They really sell the fact that they're going for this hunt. Because of that, Raps drops down. They do the same response. Elevate do the same thing. They remove players from site to go underneath to stack up bodies here and deny this guy from being hunted. And it kind of works a little bit, right? But little do they know, this is exactly what Waybo Gaming wants. Because Elevate have now spared a player downstairs. The guy hops over lobby to go down fireplace, just like last time, to go through this opposite side over here to come help Ions in the first floor bar. 1, 2, 3, 4 players have come down to the first floor, just like the first time, to come help his boy. And guess what that frees up for Waybo Gaming to hit? That's right, it frees up sight. And so Speakeasy hops directly into sight. Waybo Gaming, they learn, they adapt. I understand it now. I understand the response you were going for. I'm just going to hit sight now. And now Elevate are just rampantly running back, trying to scramble back to site to retake that site control, because guess what? The bomb is now on the site. Now, notably, they actually do like a really good job of this. I don't know why Speakeasy wasn't able to get the bomb down at any point, but I'm pretty sure he was just waiting for this gunfight to happen. But the bomb finally starts going down. Turd patience from the gods, somehow, some way, wins out again, just knows that guy's just like tucked up there. And 2v2 now, Elevate players on 1 HP, they get absolutely slaughtered by the attacker guns. And just brilliant adaptation from that first round of Master that we saw, where they got absolutely slaughtered. They ban out the response. You see how hyped they are. They are calling out of their mind. They are striding out of their mind. They are adapting. They are overcoming the opponents from Brazil, and they are showing them why they are the kings of Asia, at least on the defense. But what about on the attack? And nothing crazy happens on this first round of attack. The only notable like strategical thing that happens is like Elevate are doing a solar take into an anti-solar mirror hold. So solar take is when you try to repel in through these windows by clearing the staircase and getting a guy walking up the trophy up the staircase of solar in order to get control of the site, just like they are right now. They're getting a block underneath, able to walk up the solar stairs, get into sight. And the anti-solar mirror hold means you have this mirror deep in closet wall right here that looks through these holes made across the solar wall, and you have castles on these doorways and also more holes across bathroom, creating like kind of like a kill box in solar through the long angle. So that's kind of the angle that goes on here. Rips gets a really good pick onto the Osa coming in for the plant. This guy freaks out on a claymore, dies. Elevate actually go for a really clean clear with a nade onto the player on the mirror because there's a castle blocking him out, and even though Speakeasy got the safety, he just gives his life away. And Elevate managed actually just like it just goes back and forth. I mean, there's nothing really significant about this round. Now, the only significant thing about the round that I noted down was this right here from the casters.
2v2 once again, and a wry smile on our faces.
What do you guys hear?
2v2. 2v2 once again, and a wry smile on our faces.
I don't know what you guys hear. I know what I hear.
Once again, and a wry smile.
He meant to say a rise smile, but yeah, I think he put a little too much S in his pronunciation. Anyway,
swing as he does had kill on reset.
Waybo loses a round, and we're gonna go to the next one. That was the only thing I wanted to put out from that round. Going to the next round. This round has a very important piece of foreshadowing for later on in the game. Okay, so we're now holding the bar game site, and if you want to hold the bar game site, then you need to hold above the bar game site because there's 2 hatches above the bar game site that look directly down in the bar game site. Therefore, you want to hold library because that way you can just look down and deny the site window hop in and whatnot, and you can play in this corner. Now, you don't want to just give up the entire map because Siege is all about extending extending and doing all kinds of bullshit nowadays. So also Waybo Gaming are extending onto the office side, doing something called a soft office extend, where they reinforce the walls between master and office, and they also play over here on the side of the map in case the enemy wants to take, you know, library for free, so they can't take solo for free and they get their time wasted, so they don't just walk up directly all across half the map in 2 seconds, and they could use this control to now get long angles back into library. It's kind of a two-way street, right? This extension hold is a very popular way now to hold the map. Now, the foreshadowing comes from Hoven actually being inside of library to start. This is very common to have that starting position in library corner. It's to look down the hatch, but the thing with Hoven is you see him, he's actually prone down the window. Okay, this is very, very important. I want you to remember this. This is going to happen a couple more times. It's going to be very, very important for the conclusion in the game. So guys, just want you to remember this, okay? So elevate, go for the Hoven. Unluckily, if you see the way he dies is just insane. He stands up to run away from the rat spot, and at the same time the enemy opens up the window and he dies, and that's why he just types right here. He says that's just so incredibly that's why he types it. It's just that's so lucky, which is insane. But you see elevate, they managed to get on the kitchen side of the map very, very fast, and they eventually realize, oh, we just killed the guy that was supposed to be playing up here inside of library or blue stairs. They have this big extension on master side, and presumably another player over by that side. Yeah, master bedroom, 2F office, which is these two positions over here. What's free, guys? Free is going to be site and first floor. And yeah, look at both these players, office, master, bedroom side. Therefore, the line call comes out, the Uto comes out, Ion gets a pick onto the player first floor. Ape manages to get it, but they have site control. Ape manages to get another one onto Stemp. He gets a double kill. I actually thought that was going to be Reap getting that kill, but off that semi-site hit, Elevate has forced that office side extension of Waybo to kind of look back at site. And this is where a really genius rotation comes by Elevate, actually. Now they have the player from Dining flank up solar stairs, because now look, all these office side players, where are they looking? Well, this guy's just like completely looking at library side. Same with this other player here. They're both dialed in on library side. So therefore Ion's able to get a kill across the map just like that, and now he's able to also just rotate out of here as well. And now because they made it so that Reeps' eyes, the other guy over here, is distracted looking away, now there's only one guy on site, and therefore this guy drops down to the hatch. They momentum onto site. Raps somehow also makes it onto the Mira inside of stock, which is usually an impossible gunfight to win. But that's where your boy Speakeasy comes in and just goes God mode on these guys. I mean, Jesus Christ. He literally just walks through sight, wins the run, fights back from his team. They're not scared anymore. And now Psycho's up above, drops down, but thankfully for him, Reaps retakes Vert off that because he's just super fucking smart, takes up into library, and kills him through the hatch. Brilliant round to bring back super fluid all around adaptations throughout the entire round. Waybo Gaming, sue! This next round is one of the most insane rounds of competitive Siege I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay, so you just have to get your fucking panties ready, because this shit is insane. Do not soil them, because as I have soiled them multiple times watching this round back. So they're playing on kitchen site, and kitchen site, it's kind of the same thing. You have hard or soft floor all over the site. You can make vert all over the site, so you're going to play very heavily vertically. Now, Elevate, what do we know about these guys already from a couple matches that we've seen already? They love the site hits. Now, also, I want, again, really hone in on Hoven being under this window, okay? It happens again this round, but it doesn't happen it doesn't happen crazily yet, okay? He goes for it again, even though he got like killed off at first time. He fucking loves this rat spot. Now that I show this in video, probably a lot of major teams will fucking like just use this against him. Sorry, Hoven, I took away your rat spot, but he fucking loves this rat spot. Regardless, you have one guy ratting in library. You have 3 guys up top spread across the top floor of the map. You have 1 guy in kitchen site. Therefore, this makes kitchen a very easy site to site hit, which is exactly what they do. Stemp walks in, and they're just already in. The thing is, though, Waybo have vert, right? There's no one pressuring up top. So despite the fact bomb going down, Waybo are doing a very good job at just creating vert over the site. Now, typically you would have a guy on big window here kind of denying all these vert spots. So if you guys do some rank, I would recommend putting a ying on this window to deny it. But Elevate don't have that, and as a result of that fact, Waybo are able to buy time. They're basically able to stall out the plant just for a little bit longer so they're not fully playing a retake. But here's the issue with Waybo Gaming's plan, is that they don't have a warden. They don't have a warden on the board. And guess what? Elevate, they have 1 smoke, they have 2 smokes, they have 3 smokes. They can just throw a bunch of smokes down all over the site and just start planting the bomb. Unfortunately for them, they didn't know they would be playing against literal fucking Stewie 2K this round. Hoven uses the first smoke to creep up through short. And then he tucks up. And then he fucking 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 tucks up. And then he tucks up. And they're still finding the vert. They're finding the vert. They're finding the vert. So Elevate. They put down another smoke. They put down more smokes. And Oven uses a second smoke. And he finds the mountain. He finds the mountain. He gets the mountain. And they use the vert to stall the plant for so long. And Hoven fucking crouches through 2 smokes. Smoke criminal, Stewie 2K style. And he gets a triple kill off it. He's somehow aware of the fact that there's a guy behind them. Walks into sight. I mean, gets that one. Another guy inside. Give him the fucking ace. Just fucking give it to him. Holy fucking shit. He's typing. He's typing. Look how fast he's typing. Farm 2.0. He's saying some wicked shit right now. Nah. Farmed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Referencing how Brazil was farming APAC, but now Asia striking back, farming the Brazilian counterpart. Hovenhurst, the smoke criminal. He is officially the Stewie 2K of Siege. What can you fucking do when a guy crouches through 2 smokes and calls it a day? Elevate managed to win back the next round in the same kind of thing on Master's site. And now we go to the run back of Bar, where now I want you guys to fully remember what I have hinted at, the foreshadowing of twice this game. Last time Elevate attacked this site, they saw that Waybo Gaming had a really aggressive roam on the opposite of the map, which they're doing again. You see Hoven, they're by West Main, and Turd is by that side of the map. They're fully over 1, 2, 3 players on the opposite side of the map. They're doing a full solar shot extension. They're completely anticipating Elevate to go for a solar over clear, like an over clear or something. So Elevate see this in the prep phase of their drones. They're like, well, shit, this is just the freest site hit of our entire lives. Like that, like they've been doing site hits for the fucking rest of the game. So that's exactly what they're gonna go for. So all the players on Elevate spawn on. So all the players. Oh, sorry. So all the players on Elevate spawn over by this library side of the map because, you know, the site hits fucking free, right? Everyone's over on the opposite side of the map. This is absolute freebies. They got Blitz running over. He's running to hop in a window. They got everyone ready to go, and everything is in place for Elevate. Honest to God, this is probably should be their room because, like, look, everyone's trophy basement, trophy stairs, 1 player library, 1 player bar. Like, what the fuck is going on? Well, remember what I said earlier in the video. Remember where that 1 rat spot? What's that 1 rat spot I kept talking about? The Elevate just keep loving going for. Huh? Under library window. Under library window. There's Ape. Under library window. Okay? And the craziest part is
Inside of bar. Oh, Ape.
He doesn't even succeed. He gets spotted out. He should be a free kill now because being in the middle of library like this should mean you're fucking dead, especially against a direct hit in the sight. But the thing is, Ape has library control. And if you have library control, you have hatch control. And if you didn't clear out this guy and you decide to commit plant for no fucking reason, you stop the plant. And so sitting there for the 3rd time, despite it doing nothing all 3 times, fucking works. They stopped the plant through the smokes. Choke, question mark, GG, SI champs. I mean, bro, how do you spot out a guy in library on the hatch that would stop the plant and then not call off the plant? You're planting next to the window anyways. We are Bandung League champ. Let me just rush in 6-4. You need herds. Oh my god, I need to rewind on this. I need to rewind on this trash talk, bro. You need herds, K's, Dade, Felipox. He's saying you need the actual best Brazilian roster, not you guys. Let me rush 6-4. Are you guys Fear X? Referencing another APAC team that they're apparently shit talking. Bandung League. And bing, they slam. They take back their crown as the kings of Asia. They slam Elevate, They, oh, look at them shushing the stage. Abso-fucking-fruitly. They take over. Reeps is emoting. They retake their fucking crown. Elevate gets slammed. I don't even know how they let that push go through. I mean, you have a guy telling you there's a guy above the hatch. Get off the planet, hop out the window. It's whatever. Elevate are shaking his boots, and Waybo Gaming retake their crown. Someone in my chat told me there's literally a Spotify playlist called Songs to Beat Elevate to APL 2025 playlist. That is fucking insane. But regardless, the story's not over. The story's not over because there's a double bracket. It's a loser's bracket as well as a double elimination, which means Elevate still has a chance to make the major as long as they win their next game. So Waybo just knocked them down to the loser's bracket, and now they have to play against Daystar, which they also slammed in the regular season once again to go undefeated.
To test the mental fortitude of a player.
Unfortunately for them, Daystar 2-0s Elevate. And they make the Munich Major as well. And after the outcome of that game, Daystar, the professional Asian organization Daystar GG, tweeted, "Get the fuck out of our region." Elevate GG. We defend APAC and make the PAX Australia major qualifier. Oh, wait, was this not even for the major? This was for the fucking chance at the major. Regardless, I don't want to throw too much shade at the direct players of Elevate. I think when you're given opportunities and you have, like, you shouldn't take them lightly in esports. So don't send too much hate to Elevate and them. I just think it's a really heartwarming story of how the hometown teams took their region back against the favorites and clearly up a notch regional skill-wise imports. It's like Korea in League of Legends or Overwatch, except in Siege, the hometown actually won. Typically in those games, the imports are better. Now, heartbreakingly enough, in another APAC region, which is more of like the East Asian region, like the Korea, Japan teams, there's a team called D+, which used to be all Koreans. Now it's all Brazilians, and they actually ended up winning the grand final there. So a little bit of heartbreak on the other side of Asia. But in my opinion, through personal experience, regions have enough homegrown talent to compete with the best, not only in their own region, but even internationally. NA was long thought to be a dead region. I took a bunch of dropped NA players that were all North American. Spears is Canadian, everyone else from the USA. M80 was the other favorite team. They had cameraman, Brazilian, Citizen from British land, Kino from Brazil, Noodle also from Europe, Spoit from fucking Sweden. They had like literally the full superstar international team. And we won NA. We also won internationally, best in the world. So I think maybe in a game like League of Legends, maybe truly the Asian, the Chinese and Korean players are that much ahead of the American players, or the European players, or whatever. But in Siege, the talent's there. It's clearly there. It's so heartwarming to see the Waybo boys and the Daystar boys bring it back for APAC. And we love seeing the Cinderella runs that these APAC teams occasionally make at these majors. Damwon Kia going to grand finals, or not grand finals, but set one round away from having been in a grand finals. CAG at Reload, despite the format of it, whatever, making to the grand finals of Reload, making the first time an Asian team made grand finals at an event ever, just recently this year, 2025. Elevate, back when they had Onigiri, who broke the BO1 kill record at the Berlin Major, making their monster groups run. And Bleed Gaming recently in the last year's majors. I mean, it's just so heartwarming to see. Stick to your guns. Don't try to be like other regions. You guys are unique. You're in a shit spot because, well, you have to scrim other people and the ping is 150 ping and it's crazy and you don't have the best officials and best practice and everyone sucks. But I truly think, like PSG talent with Fabian, truly think that region, keep cracking it through, keep forcing your own unique identity, keep picking up that homebred talent. Truly, there are some special players from over there. I promise you, you can make a world tier roster with the players from your own region. That is the message of the video. Hope you enjoyed today. Hope you like storytelling videos like these that go through the rounds of a match. Let me know if skipping the rounds made a little bit disconnect for you. I personally like doing rounds, like skipping over the boring rounds that literally fucking nothing happens. But yeah, that's it for me. Call it a day. Norengo with Waka. There you go. That's one. Love you guys. Take it easy. Oh, I gotta do thumbnail faces for Dapper. Take it easy. We'll go watch Sky on 2 days. Do a couple more VOD reviews at the end. Maybe a hype up video for the Munich Major, and then a couple comp games. All right. Love you guys. See you later. Take it easy. Yes, sir. See you.
Attention from the JK. Bro, you're watching. You're not a good guy for real. You're not a good guy for real. You're a bad guy for real for saying that mean thing to me in my little chat. My little chatty chat. The cat being really cute on the floor. Ow, ow, ow. What happened in CS? What the fuck happened in CS? Oh, knives. Oh, you can trade up for knives and then the market is ruined.